What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have something that I had a very bad nightmare and I just want to share it with someone. I'm gonna share it with you guys because oh my gosh, it was literally like the worst thing ever. And I just had to whip up some breakfast. I just put fried egg over some rice, and I'm just gonna get right into the video. Let's get into the traumatized dream. So just to set the scenery out, in the beginning of my dream, well, you know how sometimes when you recall your dream, you don't remember the very beginning, but you remember the very middle, or yeah, the middle towards the end, or just the end of the dream. It's very hard to remember the beginning, but anyways, starting from the middle. Sorry. I'm a little bit sick, but I just remember, I think this was like for like a school field trip, me and my classmates, and mind you, it's not anybody that I know, there's just random people. So I was on a random school trip to like this country, or just like this historical place, and there was like a big building. It was kind of like, it looked like maybe like 2 stories of a building, and it was for like many foreign people to sightsee. There was so many people flooding in, and then there was this main house that was to the side of it. Well, what I recall is, in my dream, I remember that I woke up in a room. So you know how on field trips, the organization of the school, they or like for a sport, they rent out a few rooms for students to stay, right? I just remember waking up and also sensing like an eeriness in the air. I woke up and I see not one, but a few small roaches around the room. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think that we were in such a place for that. And it's not over the length of period of this dream, it's not just 1 or 2, no. There was multiple. There was millions. I'm talking, if a dream were ever to serve jail time, this is that dream. This is that nightmare that should be locked in jail. In jail. And then after that, I remember that I woke up, and then it was time to eat or something, and we went into this cafeteria that was attached to this building, this big sightseeing tourist building, and there's more roaches, but not smaller ones. They were huge, like bigger roaches, just like around. But for some reason the food kind of seemed clean, so like my classmates and I were just eating. There was like chicken wings, fries, things like that. And then I think I had a distant relative, or it was just weird. It was some lady, and she was taking me to like her house, the one that I was described in the beginning, the one that was on the side of this building. Actually, I think she was like some sort of mother figure to me, or yeah, a relative, because I was allowed to go in that house and a lot of people weren't. And she was in some regard in charge of like the touristy, like roach infested like building. And so she comes with me and she walks me through the side of the building, of this like big roach building. And when I tell you, I've never seen nor envisioned that many roaches in my life. There was like this fence railing, and I also remember the outside of the building. Sorry. My other dog, my family dog, she's scratching at the door. I just remember the lady figure, I was like my mom figure or relative, she was saying, oh yeah, all of these roaches, mind you, not just small ones, they were big ones, like Do you see that? That big. Like scattered. Like, oh my gosh. It was like, oh. It's so bad. Like, imagine your whole room covered in roaches on the wall. That's how it was. Every surface. And she said, oh yeah, these are what we eat. These are basically close in relation to chicken. Huh? I'm sorry, what? In relation to chicken? I would never. Jail. This dream, this nightmare belongs in jail. Never in my life. And so she takes me to this location again. She shows me around where all the roaches are, where they harvest them, and where they keep flying and living on the walls, right? Then we go visit back to her place. And I was so skeptical walking in. I was kind of afraid, like, is there gonna be more of these roaches, right? Not only that, but I don't know if I just mentioned this already, but she was kind of like the lady that was in charge of that whole, like, I would just say that whole site, like that whole land site where the roaches are. And we went back to her house. It was super, super big. Mind you, and now I'm skeptical. I'm walking through, I'm like, oh my gosh, is there gonna be any roaches around on the walls, on the sinks? No. This lady's house was spotless clean. I didn't understand it. I don't know how. I feel like she used like some spray or like something around her house. I mean, I wouldn't understand if your house is right next to the roach site. How do you not get roaches? Anyways, her house was also super, like, it was relatively big. It had most of the new appliances in a normal house. Like, her house wasn't too outdated. Like, she had newly renovated, like, oven, refrigerator, and her ceilings. The ceilings in her house were so big. I was like, I remember looking, I was like, wow. And so apparently at some part of the dream, while I'm in her house and looking, she's showing me around her house, I'm thinking, oh yeah, mom or whoever wanted me to let you know you have to come back to wherever country. Mind you, I do not know. It just that part of the dream I randomly remembered, some other relative was telling me to have her come back because, you know, she was aging. She was like probably in her 40s or something. She was relatively young, but she, like, apparently her body was, she was sick or something. I have no idea. I don't remember that much in detail. And she was pleading with me, no, I don't want to go back. I want to stay here. And I'm thinking, I know you freaking lying. But I'm trying to convince her to come back. We have to leave. We need you to come back over to this country, blah, blah, blah. And then some way or another, my mind visits another part of this dream. And that segment where I was with the relative lady vanished. Like, now I'm back. And it's like I teleported back to that roach infested building. And oh my, I did not want to go back. And I didn't want to go to sleep, nothing. And I remember, I think, girl, I just remembered something. Okay, I remember opening this closet. When I opened it, roaches. And when I tell you that building had been standing for so long, it's like you were walking into, like, dare I say, a haunted house. Or, like, you know that structure been there for a while. Maybe even termites were in that freaking house because the some of the wood was so like eaten really bad. I remember opening this closet and there was like, oh, I can't even remember if there was shelves or not, but oh, it was covered in roaches. Oh my gosh. And I closed it, and this is basically, oh my gosh, this part of the dream is making me remember the other part of the dream. I remember that like I'm walking into another area of this building. And this building, the ceiling was relatively like tall, like huge and tall. Oh my gosh. This one, it was also so bad. There's so many roaches. I've never been so terrified in my life for a nightmare / dream. And I think this is one of the top ones that's gonna be hard to recover from. Hopefully I forget about it, but can you believe that? Jail, prison for 50,000 years. If I'm telling you, if dreams, if nightmares could ever be sentenced to jail time, this would be that one. Now I'm thinking about it. What if nightmares actually came to life? Even more reason to send 50,000 years of jail time, prison. You could never come out from that confinement for a dream. Like, imagine a dream is actually a cloud, and they store it in this box. Okay, you're not coming out. Bye, sayonara, bye. Heck no. You could miss me with that. It's the mere fact that roaches, and I don't care what anybody says, roaches are scared of you, spiders are scared of you. Did they tell you that? Because if they did, I would love to know. I do not care. I'm scared of it. You know I'm bigger than it. And you can count me out. If the whole roaches took over my house, burn it down. Bye. I'm leaving. I'm finding me an apartment, find me a condo, something that's made sure that away from roaches. Because I would never get caught in the same vicinity. And you can trust that. Anyways, as I finish this egg, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this nightmare, because I cannot believe that I slept through it, for one, and I woke up like as if nothing happened. And I will see you in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.